Now, we will hear from Robert Spano, partner at Gibson, Dunn Crutcher, and former president of the European Court of Human Rights, who will be giving a keynote presentation of the evolution of ESG from voluntary to mandatory due diligence. Mr. Spano, the floor is yours.
I'm going to talk about history. The dates are 1973, 2000, 2006, 2011, 2015, 2020, and 2023. The first ever Davos Manifesto of 1973, do you know what it talked about? It talked about how businesses should integrate their produces and their manufacturing with their societies. ESG is an old concept, but it is a concept which is moving from flowery language, from CEOs asking their in-house counsel and their product managers, what in the world are you talking about? And how in the world is that going to make me any money? To substantive norms which require proactive engagement by businesses. 2000, the UN Global Compact, invited by Secretary General Kofi Annan. 2006, who cares wins. I'll say this again, who cares wins. You may think this is an activist approach to ESG. No, this is a report by 18 global investment companies who promoted the fundamental principles of responsible investment in a report called Who Cares Wins in 2006. These were investment funds with asset under management of about $6 trillion US. 2011, the adoption of the UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights, which are the ideological basis for the ESG revolution in the European Union. 2015, the Paris Climate Accords, which jump-started the ESG part on environmental requirements and ESG reporting in the green space. 2020, the Davos Manifesto on the universal purpose of the company in the fourth industrial revolution. The Davos World Economic Forum, founded in 1971, has come full circle and is now embraced as a substantive requirement, the incorporation of ESG into business practices. As I said at the outset, the time of flowery language is over, because companies now are faced with moving from voluntary compliance to mandatory due diligence. Now, what does that mean? That means three things. The first is that every company is now obliged within the European Union to map, scope their business practices on the basis of sustainability criteria and report. This has immense consequences for the evolution of business models. A week ago, and now up to be adopted in a month, the European Union will adopt the Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive. This will mean that all listed companies in the European Union up to a certain point, and also non-listed companies, will have to assess adverse human rights impacts in their chain of activities upstream and downstream. This will have a direct impact on any business partner in this region. There will be possible consequences. No more flowery language. This has become a hardcore legal reality. Therefore, this conference is very timely. It is a conference where we, in discussion with the business community, make it clear that we have moved from the voluntary compliance model of the 1973 Davos Manifesto into the reality of today, which is that short-term gain will lose to long-term profitability. Who cares? Wins. The business of the future is a business which is sustainable, Those do not believe that, those who believe that they can go on business as usual without thinking about ESG metrics in their businesses, they will lose. Why? Because consumers will not expect it, investors will demand it, and the laws will require it. This conference is therefore extremely timely for the evolution of ESG in this region. It will create a platform for us to integrate a mentality shift for the businesses in this region, for the benefit of its peoples, and for long-term sustainability and profit-making for businesses. Thank you very much indeed.